A ver, fuímonos, muchachos, vámonos. Jorge, ok, muchachos, les di las instrucciones ahí abajo. Los calzones están un poquito altos, así que aquí está perfecto. Ok, dense la mano, buena suerte y a la esquina a esperar la
prodigies of recent years. And everyone was very
jab, the broad shoulders on a 135-pound body, everything else. And incidentally, he's fighting with pink gloves. Cancer Awareness Month, you'll notice that the neutral corners both have pink. And I don't want Roach and Ariza to get...
Rangy, tall, but you look at the natural athleticism in Linares, it's phenomenal.
A fighter with natural talent. King's natural talent has resulted in amazing technique.
Try to get your feet on the ground and get your confidence here. Don't be shocked by
the hand position. It's like a well-oiled machine, and looking at the
Linares' level of talent and skill at that early age.
See that?
He's going to grow right through the lightweight division in less than a year. You could see why.
Yet there still remains the question about his chin, having been KO'd with, you know.
Could see Linares' chin tested with a straight left hand by DeMARCO and from one punch.
Well, DeMarco seems to be trying to adjust to Linares' rhythm right now a little bit better. Doing a much better job of getting. I think the first round it was where he just was not prepared for anyone with that speed.
This has been a much long ago to live and fight in Japan. Tijuana, before he was adopted by boxing people who he says saved his life.
It'd be DeMarco's round this right. So he's looking very good. He's adjusted a lot to fighter, and then he was tutored and mentored by one of the great Eddie Futch, and as a result, he's made his transition from the beginning all the way up to the top. And you have the best boxing with the best.
He has the kind of scene. He was 16 of 47 in the second round. That time DeMarco fired the left down the middle.
I see how Freddie has trained.
You know, earlier when I first heard of him, he was with Ken Adams, was a trainer when he was invading. Ken Adams.
An uppercut. Lands for Linares over the top. Lands a combination, takes a right hand and a left from DeMarco. Linares that instinct to answer back after he's been hit.
And not only
DeMarco doesn't get off unless he's coming forward like that. Linares let him get off, but basically it's Linares. For some reason, Jorge Linares has his mouth.
From Linares. Pays to be in a good competitive gym.
Going forward.
I guess the answer is yes, based on this.
Well, as is usually the case, some people wrote him off after a knockout loss to Salgado, but as Emmanuel Stewart said a couple of rounds ago.
Perfect balance, well caught, can punch and get in and
that you don't normally see.
He's handsome and Parser in Japan, Mr. Honda De La Hoya's. The comparison has always been to De La Hoya. Is there in fact a... Now, it'll be interesting to see if Jorge Linares 4 rounds appears extraordinary.
This extraordinary talent doesn't seem discouraged to me.
It's a way, never leave himself to get caught by stating it in mind his work. After he punches, he moves away.
You can knock breast cancer out, perhaps.
See if Ann Wolfe ever wore pink.
With punches, Emmanuel. I mean,
yes.
I haven't seen he got hit with an uppercut there by DeMarco. Maybe the best punch in a while.
I saw him roll a lot from DeMarco's right hook, which I've never saw. Dipping and dodging, mixes up everything.
Doesn't just roll. He turns his head all the way around.
Slips, ducks, turns.
Here you see beautiful in and out balance, coordination, unbelievable. And you see, in addition to this ability to punch, get away from accurate pinpoint punches.
That's perfect form on the jab.
Perfect form.
That's perfect form on the right cross.
And then
I thought Linares has won every round. Snap back from the punch.
One round than he did in a previous round.
And your eye gets, so when the other guy's head snaps back, you can kind of, it leaves a greater impression.
Marco's more comfortable and more engaged in the fight than was the case in round 1 when he seemed stunned by Linares' speed. He isn't for at all. It's a fight.
Yes, even though Linares is winning, like, as you said.
Against the
Edwin Valero.
Tremendous punching Edwin Valero.
This is an important test for the fighter.
Left hand by DeMarco down the middle.
A young fighter who's shown up to win, and his fight is not getting discouraged. How does Linares respond?
Now, this is DeMarco's best round, and if Harold Letterman gave DeMarco the last round, he might wind up giving him this one too, because DeMarco's landed some very good, clean shots in the last minute, and now there's blood on Linares. And once again, Linares starts to show that instinct of wanting to fire back and attack when it's clear that he's been hurt and been.
Freddie Roach told Linares to because DeMarco is starting to get a little rowdy and trying to take the fight to Linares. Linares has not.
First round, DeMarco got adjusted to his bewildered by the speed of Linares, and from that point on, Linares has never been able to just stop coming on and actually win in the fight at these last 2 rounds.
Well, ever since the blood appeared, however, Linares has gone effectiveness.
Yep. And the Mexican fans have come alive.
Good uppercut by DeMarco after the 2 good body shots.
Linares, because he's not using the jab, goes preferred distance and getting hit far too often.
Linares' excellent cut man, Joe Chavez, is going.
Linares came forward. He got off first. I said it. Jorge Linares' face is showing it. 4 rounds to 2. Jorge.
By the way, DeMarco drew blood on Edwin Valero, too, in 2 different places before Valero ultimately got him in the 9th.
Well, it's correctly anticipated in the 5th round that there was a change in the fight.
Here in round 7, DeMarco. Well, it certainly helps his confidence as face. And this is some test now for young Jorge Linares.
You would think that he would not be making his head rolling to his right, which is the wrong move for a southpaw, especially after so many rounds of boxing with Manny.
Right, in other words, when you roll with a punch, the idea is to
but
move
he's
your head.
Underestimated. We were so busy praising Linares to the speed of Linares.
He was on the streets of Tijuana. Go try that sometime. He comes from Los Mochis, one of the toughest towns in Lower Mexico.
DeMarco started just trying to back us up, and he's had some success with that style. He's trying to take it. He's looking for the exchanges and the combinations, and I think Luke is really ready for that yet. I'd like to see him break him down for a little.
Now in the corner.
Forward, but has not landed nearly as many effective blows, it appears, as was the case in the preceding. Credentials tonight.
You see how much more naturally out from Linares when he's not coming forward. Right eye of Linares.
So Linares now has 2 cuts. Right hand by Linares. Even though tonight, to my lights, he's winning the round, he sustains a...
Jorge, you okay? Can you breathe well? Yeah? Good.
Big difference between a fighter who shows up thinking he can win and fights with real vigor like DeMarco is doing.
That is such a Juarez, Jesus Chavez. That's Rocky.
Calculated pressure. He's placing this on this level with him, a young competitive fighter instead of just an old name fighter. Nothing was effective as far as
encourage. But the question mark's always going to break up like this against hard punchers.
And also, DeMarco's
enthusiasm now gets upended. What boxing's all about. Triple left hook by Linares.
So far, Linares has shown a real fighter's mentality. Of this blood on his face, and this guy in his face.
And he's going to come in the last 3 rounds.
But Harold, what chance? Excuse me. Go ahead.
It's a cut man saying he doesn't have something he needed for.
Obviously, if the blood for swallowing blood against Julio Cesar Chavez down the stretch, and ultimately it helped to bring him down.
The round, and so he didn't have his unprepared without medicine.
In the last 2 rounds with all that hand speed.
Yeah, that speed is just blazing too much still. And the thing is, DeMarco in his mind probably
thrown 27 punches in that round.
Yeah, he said outspirited him, and it's amazing that he's in such a great position. Won't let his punches go.
Since the bad cut appeared.
Part of the problem here may be sparring at wild card. You got a tall, lanky right-hander in Khan. You got a short to get sparring for a guy like DeMarco.
Incidentally, he hasn't yet sparred with Amir Khan.
Right.
That point should be made. He sparred 30 rounds with Pacquiao. He is now, here comes DeMarco again. Crowd is buzzing as it appears Linares says, come on in. And the blood is bothering Linares. The blood is flowing into his right eye.
There's a real change here, Jim. Yep. Linares is getting hit with everything. He wasn't getting hit with anything, hit with everything.
But he's firing back still.
Firing back.
He's still firing back.
Ducking and slipping, blocking a couple, getting hit with a lot. Oof. If they make it out, a minute to go in the 11th.
And DeMarco.
Hard right hand by DeMarco after a body shot by Linares. Linares entire and backs DeMarco up.
What a round.
What a fight. It's become a potential fight of the month candidate.
Best rounds you can see. Linares seemingly badly hurt in the nose with a right hand by DeMARCO moments ago.
Two amazing shots by DeMARCO. How did Linares stay up?
It's over.
For DeMARCO, overwhelming setback for Jorge Linares, who is brokenhearted in his moves up to 26-2. Emmanuel, tell us what's happening here.
Right here, you see this short, straight left right here that probably changed the whole course of the last round. That shot.
And I believe the blood flowing into Linares' right eye probably had something to do.
Yes. And as DeMARCO is blocking punches, he's still leveraging. Now he's lunging and pushing his entire body through with the punch.
So a big comeback and a brilliant win for Antonio DeMARCO, who collects a light.
All to the bout at 2 minutes, 32 seconds of round number 11. The winner and now WBC lightweight champion of the world.
My heart's a stereo, it beats for you, so listen close. Hear my thoughts in every note.